It is New Zealand SailGP that takes the win here in Copenhagen.
That's right, guys. It's a nice weekend,
Here we are, a little bit of a whiteboard session, and we're going back a year ago to when we were in Copenhagen. We had an amazing event. We ended up winning a lot of starts. We developed a strategy that worked really well. Since then it's all got a little bit tougher, but we were stoked with this event where we pulled away 4 really great wins.
We've done a lot of work on our time on distance, understanding where the rest of the fleet was relative to us.
Yeah, looking back at Copenhagen, we had 4 really good starts.
Our strategy was really that all the boats would sort of sail out into the box with about a minute to go, and we would come in a little bit later than everyone else, and we knew what time we needed to be at the back, and we'd do a tack, and these boats would be a little bit close to the line, and then we'd wind up at full speed as these boats were going a little bit slower.
Burling on New Zealand has found a gap. Oh, perfect timing from the New Zealand boat. They are going to be leading this sprint down to mark number 1.
Things just seem to open up and make your life very easy. As the helmsman, you're trying to pick what gap you're going to go for, and then once you've decided that, your job's really to try and hit the line at speed.
Big gap here, but no, it's just 100% Andy. Seeing it.
A lot of our strategy, a lot of it's done in the classroom before of what we're thinking, and then we'll talk about the type of day, what the line bias looks like. And the guys on board have a big chat about the favoured end of the line and where we want to see ourselves relative to the opposition, and then it's just trying to execute that plan.
Big push here, guys. We're half a length forward, trying to get over Lord boats.
And it could be an issue?
The whole event, we just wanted to make sure we could find a gap on the line, not get there too early, because then you just got too much time to kill and you're never going to hit the line with pace. Not too late, otherwise you run the risk of being in a lot of dirty air from the other boats.
So I would help with the time of the tack, and then after the tack I'd been counting down the time so that Pete had a really good feel for whether he was early or late for the line.
Obviously split the roles up a lot on board the boat. For example, Josh is calling the time to kill and the time to go to the start. Liv's looking behind to see if there's any threats of other boats coming in, and also looking for any potential gaps on the line during the manoeuvre. Blair's looking at what the breeze is doing on his way back, and we're trying to keep Pete pretty much free to do what he wants, but he's got all the information being fed into him.
We were pretty proud of the strategy we developed, and it worked for this regatta. But as we see in SailGP, teams come up with different techniques, and the benchmark just keeps getting higher and higher. This might have worked a year ago, but I think you would struggle to make it work now.
Yeah, everyone on the boat has a really key role, and one mistake by anyone on board and can mean a pretty different outcome to the start.
It's pretty clear in this SailGP racing that the starting is absolutely critical.
As soon as you get the lead in SailGP, it all becomes a lot easier because you're the first boat around the mark, and then all the other boats get a bit compressed behind you. The
first thing you're doing down the reach is really deciding how hard to push the boat in terms of ride height.
Still easy, Andy. 100% on you. Just seeing it, brother.
It makes a massive difference if you can get over someone and down on the inside at the first mark.
The boats behind, unless it's very, very light wind, you can't affect the boats in front. The apparent wind, they're always going into new breeze further ahead, so the rich get richer.
So for us, taking a bit of risk to get to mark 1 first is always a good thing.
Generally, you're set up for a good approach to the bottom mark. You can still choose either gate and shut down the course from there, and your race is a whole lot easier than if you're back in the pack.
We obviously made it through to the final with 3 wins on the board, and then the focus then goes on to trying to win that 4th race.
The final race gets a little bit different to the other races. The other races all have 10 boats, so it's really congested around the start line. The final race, it gets down to just 3 boats, and then it becomes really important to be the fastest boat at the start. So in the final race in Copenhagen, we ended up in a bit of a battle with Denmark, and they got themselves into a bit of a weak position just to windward of us, and the French were way down here. So the French were probably the strongest.
The windward end of the line was favoured. We couldn't afford to let Denmark roll over the top of us, so we gave them a bit of a luff.
We actually got the opportunity to slow Denmark down and then also get a good start ourselves.
And then when the time was right and we'd counted it down and we said we're on the right time, Pete picked the moment to accelerate at the line, and the French were by themselves a bit further down the line, and then it was just a boat speed race.
for us, that one was quite an easy decision to slot them below, try and slot one of the two competitors, and then have another crack at the French later on.
Even though the French had a good start, we had a better angle to mark one, so we were able to roll over the top of them with the Danes behind us. So yeah, perfect execution of a good plan.
It is the Kiwis, winners of 3 races in a row. They lead it, and it is France in second, Denmark close behind in third.
And the bonus for us is the other 2 boats ended up very close to each other,
which was great for us because when 2 boats are right next to each other, they generally end up slowing each other down.
Any fight back in the pack is great news for Burling. The 2 boats behind are slowing each other down. New Zealand get to stretch away.
Every time you have to do another maneuver, or you have to avoid, or you try and take someone else out, you just lose distance.
They got to deal with the boat alongside them first before they can worry about us. It's just another great opportunity for us to just sail away.
It's just good luck for you, and you can wave goodbye.
It is New Zealand SailGP that takes the win here in Copenhagen.
Nice work, guys.
For us, it was our second regatta win in a row, and we were just super excited. We'd been putting in so much work for over a year and a half, and for some of our techniques and strategies and learning to be coming together and to show it with a regatta win and to have 4 race wins in a row was something we were super proud of, and we still are, so if we could do that again in another regatta, I don't think we'll be able to, but it would be absolutely amazing.
Till you cross the finish line, anything could happen. We tend to keep it pretty under control until we finish, but then as soon as we cross the finish line, just the relief and satisfaction of pulling off a well-earned win.
Yes, you team. 4 from 4, well done team.
It was an awesome day for our team, and to be the first team to get a clean sheet on a day with 4 races, not 3 as well, was something that's just an incredible feeling. And the team had been putting in a lot of hard work. It was a huge milestone for the team, and something we look back on with pretty fond memories.